Welcome back, part two of the Ref Show, an addition to the panel for this half. There we are. It is what it is, isn't it, Carlton Palmer?
Yeah, fantastic, yeah.
And this is your book. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, yeah. Looking forward to it coming out on the 9th of October. But if you haven't got a copy, you can get a copy. Go onto my website and you carltonpalmer.com and you can pre-order a copy.
Is that my free copy? Is that?
Well, yeah, there's nothing free. We're raising money. No, seriously.
That's mine, I'll tell you.
20% of the cover costs are going to Cavendish cancer charity in Sheffield that I'm a patron for. Yep. I mean, fair play to the author Carl Waddicker. I said I would donate 10%, and there's not many publishers who come along and say, right, well, if you're giving 10%, I'll give 10%. So, yeah, 20% we're giving away. So, you know, I know it's my book, but it's a great read and we're raising money for a great charity.
Great cause.
Yeah. Congratulations on it. I'm really looking forward to reading it. I know that you'll be shooting from the hip and the lip, as you always would. You know. And you're, of course, about to do the Kilimanjaro Challenge, as it says there on your T-shirt.
It's You Are the Ref Kilimanjaro Challenge. Obviously going up to the top, refereeing a football match, playing a football match for the Guinness Book of Records, in support of the Steve Prescott Foundation, helping people fight cancer. Same as with Carlton. I mean, Steve Prescott was a starlet of rugby league, great professional. Sadly lost his battle with cancer, and as I say, I'm an ambassador for the charity, and really looking forward to it now.
How's the altitude training going? Okay?
It's very hard, yes. Yeah. I'm enjoying it, but it's doing spinning sessions in the altitude chamber is very difficult, but it's great.
Sounds like you're going to become an astronaut. Spinning sessions. Right, let's get on to the weekend's action, round up the rest of the Premier League. But first, the Championship. Some big games, as there always are. Carlton, you and I were both at Hillsborough to see Sheffield Wednesday beat Leeds 3-0, two of your old clubs in action there. Andy Madley was in the middle. I think you thought, and everybody thought here on this side, that was a really good appointment for that game.
Yeah, I think Andy's better than his brother Robert, Bobby Madley, who's on the Select Group 1, and I've been, shouting about him for 3 years now, and I just cannot understand why Andrew Madley's not on the Select Group 1. He has to be on that Select Group 1. You know, he's young enough. We've got to get younger referees onto the list. We're struggling on the FIFA panel. You know, we're struggling with referees on the elite FIFA panel. So we need to get the likes of Andrew Madley promoted as soon as possible. And I just beggars belief that he's not on the Select Group 1 now.
He almost did a Halsey, failed in that respect. One yellow card there was in this Yorkshire derby. I know your standard is 0.
No, but it was a yellow card what he gave. I thought he refereed the game very, very well. I mean, it was a game where, a local derby, you'd expect it to be a little bit more feisty than what it was, but they're two footballing sides, so that wasn't really a problem for him. The decision that I felt, well, it was a goal. There's no two ways about it. You can't blame the referee for that. The linesman has to call that, and he got it wrong. It should have been a goal.
This was at 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday, and Kieran Lee was played through a brilliant move and scored, and he was given offside.
You can see the assistant referee he wasn't in line.
Lee Venable.
He wasn't with the second most rear defender. He was out of position, so you're gonna get it wrong. But he should not be getting those offside calls wrong at that level.
Okay. Elsewhere in the Championship, other big clubs and big matches. Nice to see Steve Bruce, a friend of both of us, or all of us here, turn it round, certainly at Aston Villa, 1-0 against Bolton. There was a straight red card in that game, as there was also at Reading Norwich. Reading Norwich, Tim Robinson sent off Marley Watkins in that game, and Jeremy Simpson sent off Neil Taylor of Aston Villa in the Villa Park game.
Yeah, I don't think the Norwich player could have any complaints. Right. At the send, is it Watkins? I think that was the correct decision personally. The one Neil Taylor, he's got a reputation because he had that poor challenge on the Everton player, didn't he, playing for Wales a few months ago. Listen, that's all about opinions. I thought it was a reckless challenge and maybe could have got away with a yellow card, but that was Jeremy Simpson's opinion. He felt it was reckless, endangering the player's safety. I know all the Villa fans and Steve Bruce was very upset, but I wouldn't bother appealing because I don't think they'd win that one.
Fair enough. We had a manager sent off. That was Paul Heckingbottom of Barnsley in their victory, great victory, 3-1 at Millwall, I think that was following a protest at the end of the first half. I've seen a few managers dismissed, not least Jose Mourinho last week, which was a nonsense that we panned here.
And it got overturned. I mean, nothing happened because nothing happened on the day.
No, nothing at all. But there's a curiosity. This was in Paul Tierney's game, Middlesbrough 2, Brentford 2, where a manager, Dean Smith of Brentford, is complaining that the referee, Tierney in this case, well, first of all, he says that he denied a Stonewall penalty in the first half for a trip. And then he claimed that the referee refused to shake his hand at the end of the game, following his complaint about that penalty shout. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, I'm surprised. You know, what goes on in 90 minutes goes on. Once that final whistle goes, if someone, a manager or a player offers you his hand, then you shake it. You know, you shake
well,
it.
it all depends to me. I mean, if the manager's been disrespectful to the referee, and the referee's only, as far as I'm concerned, and don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of to-dos with referees as a player and as a manager, but you know, at the end of the day, you've got to be respectful. And if he's not been respectful to the referee, I don't see why the referee should have to shake his hand.
But the better man always does, doesn't he?
But that doesn't mean you're not being the better man.
No,
it's just,
but
you know, I'm old school, me. You know, at the end of the day, you shake somebody's hand because you want to. You don't shake it because you feel you have to.
Yeah, I just think what goes on during the 90 minutes goes on. Once that final whistle goes, you come off the pitch, and if he puts his hand out, then I think you should.
Yeah,
but
you're saying that, Mark. I mean, at the end of the day, we all know that a referee's job's not easy, right?
Not, no.
So, you know, managers have to understand that referees are going to make mistakes. That is a fact. Players have to understand that. And in the heat of the battle, we're all going to be upset. Yeah. But you can't keep giving the referees abuse.
And we don't know the circumstances fully here.
No, we don't. But you could still shake his hand, just say to him, look, Dean, in my dressing room, straight after the game, we'll have the conversation.
Yeah, no, true.
There's been a lot of discussion about handshakes lately. Anyway, don't know if he follows through on this, but Dean Smith's threatening to speak to the PGMOL about this and make a complaint. So it all seems a bit pathetic, really.
Move on. Yeah, move on.
More important things.
Yeah, I think so.
We're all men at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Why does he need to go to and pick up the phone and speak to the general manager of the PGMOL? Sort it out in the dressing room after the game. In that, behind those closed doors, shut the door, then have a little go at each other.
Okay, anything you want to raise in the remainder of the Premier League action, which I said I'd come to? Mike Jones' game, Stoke 2, Southampton 1.
Yeah, it seemed to go, no problem. Mike seemed to, after his little misdemeanor with Jose Mourinho last week at Southampton, which was, as we discussed, was nonsense. Didn't manage the situation as he should have done. It seemed to go okay for Mike on that game.
And Roger East as well, I think. West Ham 1, Swansea 0. Relief for the Hammers and their manager with that late goal.
Yes, yeah. I think. I mean, looking at Roger, I think he needs a couple of good games to get his confidence back. And the same with John Moss. I think there's been a lot of criticism of John Moss over the last few seasons. I watched him at Everton Burnley yesterday, and I thought he refereed really well. He's getting more consistency into his performances. We're seeing good performances, after performances. So that's what you want as a referee. Because like as a player, you want to be consistent. There was 2 big penalty shouts that Ronald Koeman felt that perhaps he should have given at least one of them, but I thought John got it absolutely spot on where the header, Wayne Rooney putting a head and it come off of Loughton's hand. Not deliberate. I thought he got that one right, and again Loughton, a shot coming hit him on the chest, and I think John got that right. But I thought John refereed the game really well yesterday. Nice to say it. He'd be the headline maker of the season for me on this show, John Moss, for the most improved referee. Startlingly, every single week he's been, I think I'm right in saying, every week people have complimented him on his performances. Listen, we're constructive of what we say about referees, and when they're doing well, you've got to be the same ilk. And I've been one with John saying he's had a good performance one week, but he's not been as good the following week. And it's about getting consistency into his performances, and he's now doing that. Credit where due. And just finally, Kevin Friend, Arsenal 2, Brighton 0. Rob Harris blogged that game on RefCam. He particularly praised the assistant referee, Stuart Burt, for a good call. The ball, judging the ball was in
before the first goal. So
Yeah, Brighton wasn't happy with that, were they? The players weren't happy with
but I
that.
think
But
it was
it was a
Shakespeare
cracking
correct.
decision. Yeah, she was correct.
Carlton, across the weekend and your perception, we're talking less about mistakes this season. Just finally, with 30 seconds left, that's a good thing.
No, it is a good thing. It's a good thing for the game on the whole. You know, we don't want to be talking about referees. We want to be talking and controversy. We want to be talking about good football in games.
Yeah, and books.
And books, yes, for sure.
Yeah. We've all got books. So even I've got books out. I mean, cracky, you can't go on this show unless you've got a book out, can you, really.
A successful book.
Successful.
If you're looking to buy a Christmas present, there it is.
Definitely. Gents, thanks ever so much. Carlton, Mark, always a pleasure to do this show. Thank you for joining us as ever. Another Ref Show will be on here next week. See you then. Bye-bye.